welcome back to my channel. So today's video is going to be a review and comparison over a couple of new mascaras in the drugstore. So the mascaras I'm reviewing are the Loreal Miss Manga Rock mascara and the Maybelline Colossal Chaotic mascara. They're both around $7 or $8. Honestly, I've been really indecisive on how I feel about these, so I feel like doing this video and actually having to decide on how I feel about these will kind of push me a little bit. So yeah, I'm going to do one side with the L'Oreal and one side with the Maybelline, and we're going to compare how they look and stuff because they are very similar in their claims. They both claim to make really spiky, clumpy lashes. I actually don't have the L'Oreal packaging, but I do have the Maybelline one, but I will look up the L'Oreal one. But the Maybelline one says, unleash colossally chaotic lashes, our big volume formula and teaser brush, plump and disorganized lashes for a perfectly sexy mess. And funny story about this mascara, my boyfriend and I were walking through Walmart the other day and he went over to the display for this and was like, oh my god. And I was like, oh, someone's just messed with it. That's not how she really looks, because if you haven't seen the display, I'll post a picture somewhere in the video. If you haven't seen it, the girl's lashes are absolutely crazy. They look like she was like rolling in a garbage or something. Like they're just so messed up. I really thought that from afar someone had came and like, you know how people like draw on the display boards with like permanent markers and stuff? I thought someone had done that, but actually it was the display. So you're supposed to get like spiky, weird, chaotic lashes. I don't really know. And for the L'Oreal mascara, it just says spiked overloaded volume, blah blah blah. 360 degree spiked brush loads maximum volume from the roots and stretches lashes to pointed tips. And with both these brushes, it's really weird. I don't like this, but they both say that you can start out by wiggling it horizontally and up, and then you turn the brush vertically. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to do it how I do my mascara. So yeah, with packaging wise, they both look very similar. They're both yellow and black. So with the Maybelline mascara, let me just say that the design of the tube, like the inkiness on there, is rubbing off. Like it gets all over my hands every time I touch it. So that's not fun. And in my previous mascara reviews, I know that I've said that I like to wear eyeshadow when I'm trying out mascara because sometimes the mascara looks good without eyeshadow or anything, but when you apply eyeshadow and all that stuff, then the lashes can get lost. And I find that both these formulas are pretty messy and like wet. They get all over my eyelid. So I didn't want to play with makeup and use my good stuff and then just have to wipe it all away. But I do find that the Maybelline one is kind of drying out a little bit as I go. When I first bought it, it was extremely messy and I didn't like it right off the bat. But I'm starting to come around to it a little bit, but I'm still kind of stuck on not liking it since I didn't like it in the beginning. And the L'Oreal Miss Manga, I don't really like it on its own because it is such a wet formula and it's not something that's easily buildable on itself. So what I've been using this for is to build on other mascaras that I do like, because it really can give you a nice false lash effect, but I don't like it on its own because it's just way too messy and way too wet. We're going to go ahead and get started with the L'Oreal Miss Manga. So here's what the brush looks like. It's very spiky and pointy and it's tapered. It's thicker at the bottom and then it gradually gets thinner as it gets to the top. And there are like, the bristles are so tiny and like close together, and the bristles get shorter as they get to the top of the wand. They're not very long anyway, but they are a little bit longer at the bottom. So we're going to go ahead and start on this eye. So I am going to do 2 layers because that's what I usually do, but I've heard a lot of people say that 2 layers is too much for this mascara and it starts to flake. Now I do find that all L'Oreal mascaras flake on me, unfortunately. I love almost all of them, but that's the biggest downside to the L'Oreal mascaras for me. I've heard people say that it doesn't flake if you just stick with 1 coat. And honestly, I could probably get away with just 1 coat, but I just feel better if I do 2. I'm kind of OCD. Okay, so there is the L'Oreal Miss Manga mascara. This is 1 coat. I'm going to wait until it dries a little bit to do the 2nd coat because like I said, it is very wet. But other than the fact that it's a very wet formula and it's hard to build, and the fact that it flakes, I like it. I really do like the effect that it gives. If it doesn't clump on you, then I definitely think this is a good mascara. I've heard a lot of people say that it's just too spidery and too clumpy, but honestly, I feel like if you just stick with 1 layer, like I'm not going to do, it's a very nice effect. But we're going to go ahead and move on to the Maybelline mascara on this side. Okay, so there is one layer with the Maybelline, and I forgot to show you the wand of the Maybelline one. So it really reminds me of the Maybelline Colossal Volume, I think is what it's called. It's the mascara in the pink tube. The wand reminds me of that because it's very full and it's very spiky. This one is a little bit thinner and more narrow than that one. And as you can see, there is a bit of a curve to the end. But I hope the camera is picking up how messy these are. Especially this one. I'm a little surprised because this one was more messy than the L'Oreal one, and the L'Oreal is a super wet formula. But it's all over my eyelid. As you can see, it's not even bad on the L'Oreal side, but it's all over my eyelid over here. So I'm just going to go in with a Q-tip and fix it up. I really, really hate that because when you have eyeshadow on, you have to take off so much. It's hard for me to sway my opinion once I first make it in the beginning because I did not like these when I first bought each of these. I've only had the Maybelline one for about a week, but I'm kind of starting to like them. They're starting to dry out a little bit where they're a little bit better. The L'Oreal is not drying out as much, obviously. As far as flaking goes, the Maybelline one doesn't flake as bad. I have noticed a few flakes, but all around, Maybelline mascaras are pretty good with not flaking. So I'm going to go ahead and go in with a second layer for each of these mascaras. So this is the L'Oreal Miss Manga once again. So I think I let this dry way too much because it's not really combing through the lashes very well, but it's not very good at combing through anyway because where the bristles are so short, it really just gets the surface of the lashes, I feel like. But as you can see, I'm getting way more clumpy. They're getting very spidery, and I mean, I guess it is that doll lash effect. I don't really know, but I probably would just stick with one layer. Okay, so I'm gonna stop there before I get in too deep. I'm gonna wipe off this catastrophe on my eyelid. But honestly, it's workable. Like, they're very, very big and they're very bold and very black. And I feel like with eyeshadow, this doesn't, like, my lashes don't get lost in the look or anything because they really do stand out on their own. I just probably wouldn't do 2 layers. I would probably just stick with one and just kind of build up the first layer a little bit more instead of worrying about 2 layers. But yeah, we're going to go ahead and start on the second layer for the Maybelline one. Hopefully it's not too dry where it doesn't build. So this one is definitely building a lot better on itself than the L'Oreal one. It's not clumping up or anything, and it's still workable where I can comb through them. So they're starting to get a little more spidery, a little more clumped together, which I like a little bit of clump. That kind of sounds weird. I like a little bit of clump, but I don't like it to where it's like they're stuck together and they're like starting to tie knots around each other. And the claims say that to do like this little number right here where you hold the brush vertically and kind of do like that, but okay, we're doing it. Oh, we're doing it. I don't like doing this. I don't like doing that. That's weird. No. Okay, so I'm just going to go ahead and apply each of these mascaras to the lower lash and see how they work on the lower lashes as well. The Maybelline one is a little too big for the lower lashes, I feel like. It does give a nice effect, but it got all over the skin underneath my lashes. Okay, so I'm going to go in with the L'Oreal mascara on the lower lashes now. I can't do this like this. But this one, okay, this one's a lot more messy for the lower lashes. I feel like it's just, where it's so wet, it's just getting everywhere. So here is what the L'Oreal one looks like up close. I don't know if you guys can see underneath the lower lashes, but it's really, really messy. And it got in my waterline and stuff, but I am going to wait until it dries to wipe it off. And over here, the Maybelline one isn't as bad underneath, and I do like the effect that the Maybelline one gives for the lower lashes a little bit better because it makes them look a little bit fuller and thicker, whereas the L'Oreal one, it kind of makes it a little more spiky, and I don't really like spiky lower lashes. Honestly, they look pretty similar as far as the effect goes, but I actually really, really like the look of these. I feel like the L'Oreal one is definitely more spiky. It's very volumizing, it's pretty lengthening, it's not super thickening, but it does give you that really nice false lash effect. And then the Maybelline one gives you more separation and it kind of defines them a little bit better. And the lashes just look more full. They're more of like a feathery, full, soft look. I don't really know which one I like better. The L'Oreal one looks a little bit bigger and more bold than the Maybelline one does, but the fact that it does flake is a little bit of a kicker for me. I really don't like flaky mascara. Like I said, I have heard a lot of people say that with just one layer it doesn't flake. So I'm going to test that out, and I will put an update in the video of how that worked out, if it still flaked with one layer. I should have this figured out by now, but I just want to keep playing around with them a little bit more, and you guys will see them in future videos. So if I have any updates to come, like as far as which one I end up liking better, I will put that in a video. So that is it for this review and comparison video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Thank you so much for watching and hanging out with me today. Thumbs up if you like this video. Subscribe Follow me on all my social media. All of the links are in the description box. And I hope you guys have a beautiful day. Mwah.